Today we have with us the all-new Audi Q8, and this is a sporty SUV made by the German brand we all love, Audi. So let's get started with the review of this beast. But before we start this review, I would specially like to thank Audi Chandigarh for providing us this amazing Audi Q8 for a review. They have an amazing inventory of all the other Audi cars and also pre-owned Audi cars. So if you're interested to buy any car, well, link is in the description, go contact them. And our channel is a considerably new channel, so consider pressing that red subscribe button to join our family. Now let's start with the review of this car, in which we're first going to be talking about the styling, then followed by the performance of this car, later on talking about the features, not to mention the practicality and the storages in this car, but last and the most important thing, which is comfort in a luxury car, well, we'll be talking about that as well, and the timestamp to everything is in the description down below, so check that out. And now let's start the review of this car. The Q8 has a unique styling which is not seen in any other Q segment car. The styling of Q3, Q5 and Q7 are leaning more towards the elegant side. But the Q8 is a luxury car disguised in a sporty version. The headlamps of this car are so sharp, and this sharpness provides its sportiness. If we look closely, we have a dual projector headlamp setup. Below that we do have 9 LED strips which acts as the DRLs and the indicators as well. The blacked out portion below the headlamps are the projector fog lamps. Audis usually get hexagonal grills, but this car has an octagonal grill, and the model of this car is Q8. Well, does that have something to do with it? Maybe, maybe not. Anyways, this car has a matte black grille with chrome accents, which I'm not a big fan of, but it comes to personal preference. What do you guys think? Comment down below. The side profile of this car reveals massive 20-inch 5-spoke sporty alloy wheels, which looks cool. But the coolest thing in the side profile of this car is the rimless doors. Not for the only front, but rear as well. As you guys know, we've been talking about sportiness in this car in front and the side. But when you look at the rear of this car, it's what defines the sportiness in this car. This is the most stunning rear design of any SUV that I have seen till date. As we all know, Audi is a king of technology, and not only in the interior, even just the rear is filled with technology, such as the OLED tail lamps in this car, which are connected through this OLED bar, which is a great styling cue in all new Audis. And we all know that the Audi gives sequential turn indicators, which is a great feature. But this time around, sequential has been taken to a whole new level. Have a look. Now, Audi says that the Q8 is based on the Lamborghini Urus, which is great, and I am all in for a cheaper Lamborghini Urus. While that might be true in other senses, but when we talk about performance, I think the Q8 is a different segment than the Urus, because the Urus has a 4-liter V8 engine producing 641 horsepower, 850 Newton meters of torque, which are supercar level numbers. But if we talk about the Q8, in this car we get a 3-liter V6 engine capable of producing 340 Newton meters and 500 Newton meters of torque. So you can see the difference. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that a 3-liter V6 engine in any way is a small engine, or 340 horsepower and 500 Newton meters are any way small numbers. They're actually enormous numbers for a family SUV like this one, and which I think is a great thing. This car might be based on the Urus, but not in terms of performance. The actual competitor, which I personally think is the competitor to the Urus, is the RS variant of the Q8. Now talking about features in the Audi Q8. Well, this is a self-driven car. Audi wants their customers who buy this car to drive the car themselves. They didn't want this car to be a chauffeur-driven car. So that's why this car has a lot of features, no doubt. But most of them are focused towards the driver. Like if we talk about the sporty steering wheel in this car, we have a leather wrap
3-spoke steering wheel design, which is multifunctional as well. One of my favorite features of this steering wheel is of the customizable button, which I really am in love with. We have other features to control the MMI in this car, which is a really cool feature. And I have made a separate dedicated video explaining the dual display setup, that is the MMI system in this car. I've linked that video in the description down below and an information card on your displays right now, so go check that out. It's an amazing video and a very detailed review of this MMI system. Similarly, the other controls in this car are for the virtual cockpit. Once again, I have made a detailed review of the virtual cockpit in this car as a separate video. You can check that out in the link in the description below and an information card on your displays right now. So if you want a detailed review of the displays in this car, you can check that out in the description below. But anyways, coming back to the Q8, we have paddle shifters in this car because yes, it is a sporty car. We also have an 8-speed gearbox, which I think is really cool. So that was regarding the performance and the features of the driver. But if I talk about the passengers, well, one of the greatest features for the passengers in this car is of the Bang & Olufsen surround sound system in this car, which also has acoustic glass. Now what that means is that we actually have speakers over here which are retractable and come out when you start the car, and they actually project sound onto the glass of this car, which then surrounds the whole car, which I think is amazing technology regarding the sound in this car and is really high end. Also, we have 64 different colors of interior lighting in this car, given all over driver area, the dashboard area, everywhere in the rear as well. So this car can be colored the way you want in the interior, choosing those 64 different colors, which I think is pretty cool. Now if I talk about the other features of this car, such as the windows in this car, which are actually heat insulating, because see, India has a weather in which it gets really hot, but the glass in this car is actually heat insulating, which means that when you sit inside your car and you park your car somewhere, the heat of the sun won't actually come into the cabin. Well, it will, but not that much, and your car would stay cool compared to other cars of this segment, which I think is once again a really cool feature. Once again, if you want to check out the MMI system and the virtual cockpit, I have made separate videos for them giving a detailed review of both of them. Once again, link in the description below.
We're going to start the practicality of the glove box in this car, and as we open it, as you can see, the glove box is very big. My whole hand fits right in, and it also is lighted. And for organization, you have one card holder and a pen holder. Moving towards the center console, we have 2 covered cup holders in this car, and one of which is Audi's ashtray, and a place for keeping the key. Below the cup holders, we have a center armrest, which doubles as a center console storage. When you open it, you have a wireless charging pad and a space to keep some things. When you close it, you also have space to keep the coins. For the front seats, we also have door bins and a bottle holder. On the driver's side seat, you also have a storage cubby for storing toll receipts, etc. And now for the practicality in the rear seats, we get seat nets for driver as well as passenger side seat. When you open the center armrest in this car, you also get 2 retractable cup holders. Moving towards the doors of this car, you get an ashtray, a magazine space and a bottle holder. And now for the most important part of our practicality session is the trunk. But first we're going to talk about opening this trunk. There are 4 ways to open this trunk. The first is on the key fob, second is on the driver's side door area, and the interesting part is you can also close the trunk from there. Third is the request sensor given below the trunk, and fourth is the leg wave feature. So let's open the trunk. If we talk about the actual trunk space in this car, it is quite large, as you guys can see. For organization, we have 2 net pockets for storing some things. Given beside the switches, there is a hook for hanging grocery bags, etc. We also have 2 buttons in this car for lowering or raising the ride height of this car for easy access of the trunk. As this car has roof rails, we also get roof racks from the factory.
And now talking about one of the most important part of a car buying experience, and that is comfort, because it's a luxury car. Now, being an Audi, obviously we have the high-end seats in this car with leather seats, very soft, very comfortable. And because this car is a sporty type of car, these seats have a bucket type shape, due to which I am gripped in my seat really well. I also have automatic seats because this is the front seat. I can obviously move the seat back and forth, the backrest back and forth, adjust the height of the seat, and also adjust the lumbar support, seat bolstering, every single thing you can think of. And I think this car is a very comfortable car here in the front seats. You can easily go in a long road trip for 5-6 hours without any problem. And now coming into the rear seats of the Audi Q8, you just saw I was sitting in the front seats and I'm pretty tall, 6'1". Still, when I come into the rear seats, you can see I have like enormous legroom in this car, close to about 9-10 inches of legroom, which is awesome for such a long person, 6'1". So I don't think that you're going to have any kind of problem in the leg space. Talking about the headroom, I have about 4 inches of headroom as well. So any person who is tall enough like me, or even wearing a turban, I don't think you're gonna have any kind of problem regarding the space in this car. It's a very spacious car. The seat material is obviously the same. We have the high-end leather seats in this car. They're very soft, very comfortable. Going on a long road trip in this car, even if you're a kid or an adult, no problem at all. You're going to feel really comfortable in your Audi Q8. But I actually want to move into the middle seat over here because over here we have the transmission tunnel of this car, which I think is pretty substantial. It's not very high, but it is there. You can't really neglect it. So I have to keep one leg over here and one leg on the other side. So that makes it a little bit uncomfortable, but the seat material, once again, it's the exact same, very soft. So over here as well, sitting over here, a kid or an adult, you can easily go in a long road trip if you're okay with the situation of keeping one leg over here and the other one on the other side. And so that was the review of the 2020 Audi Q8, and I must say that it is an amazing car. We only get this car in one variant, and the pricing of that variant is around about 1.33 crore rupees. That is the showroom price. And with this, we complete our review. Once again, check out Audi Chandigarh, linked in the description below, if you're interested to buy any Audi car. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, comment down below what you think about our video. Share this video as much as you can, and a subscribe would also be appreciated. Thank you.